So today we're going to go right ahead and go through the technique obscure sword. Obscure sword is being a technique against the side grab. So far up to this point, we learned 3 techniques against side grabs: sword and hammer, obscure wing, and this being the third one. Okay, so in this technique, so what we're doing is this, if basically, normally when we walk, we kind of have a tendency of swing the arms forward here. And we do it kind of like in a relaxed way. So as the opponent grabs, I'm trying to walk away from the situation, but right as I'm walking away, the opponent, he begins to pull. But in this case, my hand swings out. So from the point of view of the opponent, my hand becomes obscure. And that's why we can say that it's called obscure sword. So basically what happens, I do this, as he pulls, I do a hand sword right to the neck. And then as I do this, I can even go into a forward bow. Then just take the knee out with a front snapping bolt kick, then cover out, okay? So I'll do that one more time. So the opponent grabs, I'm walking away, the hand swings, and he swings right in front of my stomach. So from his point of view, it's really obscure. And that's why the technique is called obscure sword. So as I'm swinging forward, he pulls, then see, I borrow his force, right from here, then just kick, and then just getting back into a good neutral bow stance. And that would be the technique obscure sword, okay? So the very first technique in the Kenpo system was the lace sword. And it's called the lace sword because the kick delays the hand sword. And last week we spoke about how basically long kimono related to the lace sword. That, basically in one technique you work on the inside, on the other technique you work on the outside. They have the same ending. The only difference is that on one you do a front snapping bolt kick, on the other one you hyperextend, underneath the arm. But basically, you have the same technique within those 2 techniques, working on the inside, working on the outside. Now we're going to see how, the lace sword relates to obscure sword. And if we really look at the techniques, they're really opposite to each other, meaning that, for example, when I do the lace sword, see, once I do the initial block, I go right ahead and I do the kick, and the kick delays the hand sword. So basically, I kick first, and then I do the hand sword second. Where in this technique, what happens, now the opponent, instead of attacking with the right, he's attacking with the left. And he's more kind of like on the back side of me, where on the lace sword, he was more on the front side. So now instead of doing the kick first, then the hand sword, what I do in this case is that I go right ahead and now I do the hand sword first, then follow up with the kick. So when we look at both techniques, what I'm actually doing, and I'll demonstrate this slowly in the air, is that, see, when I do the lace sword, I kick, I block, so I do the block, I kick, hand sword, where on the other technique, obscure sword, kind of applying the rearrangement concept too, is that I block, I do the hand sword, and instead of not kicking with the right side, I kick with the left side, then I can cover up. So you basically have the same technique, just doing the opposite, working the opposite side, or doing opposites, and then also applying the rearrangement concept, okay? Thank you.